just buy more and stack it in, but what's really the plan? So it's auction day again. Left home this morning, there was like 2 inches of snow on the ground. Every few years you get one like end of April snowstorm, which fortunately we're south end of Sedgwick County here, so it's not real snowy. They said this guy had this stuff collected. He worked aircraft, and basically this was left abandoned for like 20-30 years after he died. It was a total forest in here. You can see they've had the equipment in that just basically mows the trees. That looked like this. It was these big red cedars, which kind of invasion of the prairie grasslands. I mean, they just basically mowed it off. I don't even know if I'd ever want to drive a trailer through here, but all that said, wish I could have filmed this before they pulled it all out, but a guy probably couldn't have even seen anything. So here it is, another abandoned place. More project cars, parts cars, stuff ready to be sold at auction. Gonna take everybody around and kind of show you what's here, show you what we're doing, what we're bidding on. I have no idea how this sale is gonna go. Close to Wichita, scrap is high. The auctioneer is one that doesn't have an awful lot of sales. I don't get to his really very frequently for old car stuff anyway. A 46 Chevy, 65 El Caminos. These El Caminos, you always gotta look at the frame rails because they love to rust. They're not a C-channel frame, they're a boxed frame. This one's got kind of a good raggedy beat down patina to it. Little Alice Chalmers, and I believe is going to be an International. You guys that are into tractors at all, you've heard me plug him before, but go check out Crazy D Equipment, Tractor Dave. He's a guy that I grew up with, good guy. You can watch all about tractor auctions and tractor repair and everything for tractors. Got some kind of a Model A repurposed farm trailer there. 35 Ford. It's pretty common repair back in the day, a piece of aluminum in the roof. I mean, it's got its problems like they all do, but gosh, 80-year-old car. And as popular as these Fords have been going on for, these were collectible cars in the 50s and 60s. Beggars can't be choosers for pre-war Ford stuff. I was born in 85, and so I just intentionally never really got into pre-war Fords. 1960 license plate with the 61 Centennial call out on it there. Accessory front bumper guards on it. Chevy Lumina. Very durable cars. My uncle that worked for Farmers Insurance, that was his estimate buggy. He'd go around, and these first generation caravans are coming on and collector interest. Unfortunately, this stuff, partly the difficulty of the terrain and the equipment that they had, you can see they've smashed doors and smashed windows, and just very rough on these cars. So if they're in collector quality condition, I'll look at them as collector quality stuff. But if they're treated as scrap, then that's kind of how they get bought, unfortunately. We got a Mazda pickup here with the topper. This one was one that was inside one of the buildings, so it's been preserved in basically the condition it was when they put it in there. Hasn't weathered down. Cool old, you see the wheat shock mascot with the little hand scythe. These little buggers, they are the up and coming collectible vehicles. So this is one I kind of have my eye on a little. It's got the cool old vintage steering wheel. I believe this should be pre-rotary, but I'm not sure. Yeah, that's, or post-rotary, I guess. I don't know. Trying to read that emissions label upside down. 1976. And then here's its brother. White truck with the fiberglass topper. The fiberglass topper is a little more stylish than the clunky aluminum one on the red truck there, but this is really good looking truck. Like these old period accessories. Got the spoke painted wheels and the steering wheel on the other truck. Mazda emblem of the period on the steering wheel. These had a real kind of almost muscle car sporty look in the insides, these 70s. Japanese vehicles, pretty cool. You see the snow's still coming down. This is the nicest of all the El Caminos. Get a kind of a neat period topper on it. I don't know, man. Every one of these vehicles they moved and they caved the doors in on them. The door doesn't open. How would you get in the thing? How would you move the car? It's kind of hard to see there. We got the California Corvair 6567. Try and record this as steady as I can with the wind and the Terrible terrain out here. This guy's brave enough to drive over the stumps. I look out here and think about driving across this and it spikes my anxiety. Pop a tire, it'll spike my rage. '70 El Camino, smashed in door. '64 El Camino, factory air. It's got a good beater vibe to it. Got a whole front clip that goes with that one. Frame on it's just pretty gone though. I mean, what would you really do with it? It's kind of a parts car, but so much stuff repro'd for it out of the catalog. Here's a second gen Camaro that somebody started restoring. This would be a great car you could put together with a rusty, junky parts car and probably build something pretty decent. I believe that's a Z28 by the fenders there. I don't know on these if you can tell from the firewall tag what if they even did them. Some of my G bodies I see firewall tags on and some I don't. Anybody's guess. It's really pretty good car for a body. Got a 70 Lincoln Mark III. These are about 68 they came out, and then 71 they finished. Quarter panels shot, interior's shot. Got the remains of a squirrel in the front seat. Have a squirrel funeral later on. Raccoons have just completely destroyed that interior. I hate raccoons. Destructive pest. Got another caved in, destroyed door. These old luxury cars, they get too many problems with them, and it's just so complicated to work on them that they kind of become parts car pretty quick once they get so much damage on them. '64 El Camino, just pretty original car. It's got the 327 by the badges. Oh, and the frame's actually in usable condition. I think about the worst thing of this would probably be some pitting in the bed floor. All that corrosive raccoon poop is not good for them laying in there 30 years. Raccoon's just filthy, disgusting animal. This was somebody's hot rod little machine in the day. Got the Corvette steering wheel, I guess, and had the floor shift trans. Had the old mag wheels on it. It's a cool little rig. '46 Chevy. Got a friend of mine, David, that really likes these cars. He'll be excited about that one. '40 678 Mercury coupe. Raccoons have destroyed the upholstery. Filthy, disgusting animal, a raccoon. He knows it. 41 Mercury probably gonna be. Yep. 41 Mercury, my opinion, one of the ugliest cars ever made, other than like a 39 Buick or a 41 Ford. Derivative ugliness. The dash is cool. Not like outright hideous, just like they really could have done better. You know, you look at something like a Nash with like a beautiful Art Deco grill, and then you look at like Mercury, they're like, oh, we did this. Like, ooh. Womp womp. 64 El Camino. Looks like a later 350 probably in there. Somebody's put the sunroof and the vinyl top on that one. Got the primer, different colored panels. Everybody wants stuff patinaed now. Guarantee. I'm not even gonna look. I can guarantee that frame's rusty. Half-ton two-wheel drive Chevy. Here's a 73.4. That's actually a short bed truck. Somebody started painting the cab, and then they go out here and destroy it with the loader bucket. '80s truck rolled. Like this Caravan, had they not destroyed the side of it, probably the nicest one here. I would have liked to.
Jim, how you doing?
Just floating along.
Do I look okay?
You look good. Face for radio. Got another old Lincoln here. And we caved in the side moving it. Why? To get that rough and just kind of a parts car at that point. Cool car, but what would you do with it? Pretty straight, complete 80s Chevy, and we destroyed the side. Score more points. Suburban, and the side's destroyed. Caravan, Plymouth Voyager.
Yeah. First got here.
GMC Safari van. Mark my words, those will be collectible here pretty quick before you know it. There have been guys customizing them since they came out, basically. That always helps hold a place for something to become collectible again later on, but probably be the shorty cargo side. Full length window van might be good for parts. Another Ford, beat up, destroyed. This one's kind of cool. 70s Vista Cruiser wagon. Another old Camaro, kind of a cool car. '80s Caprice. This is a car I could actually do something with. Had a lot of people liking these, and they've actually not really destroyed the thing moving it. That one's got promise for me. Old short Caravan. Fun fact, this is the style of vehicle I drove to my first date with my wife. I wanted her to judge me on who I was, not what I had. Got like a 39 or 40 Ford. Original front end with the wishbone and everything, but they put these little hubs on it. This side trim size and profile would tell you guys that know about these what it is. Oh, I see. So single driver's tail light, no passenger tail light. I believe that is a 40 standard. The thing's been in a shed for a while and gotten pretty rusty, pitted, and I just don't know how you'd fix that. I'm not a pre-war Ford buyer, so I don't have to hatch a plan for how. That canoe's probably worth more than everything else sitting there in that mess. 72 Chevelle. Here we got Malcolm in the middle. Old Chevy van. They're coming on for collectability. Hi, Craig.
Dude, how you been?
I'm just floating along. 65 Impala 4-door hardtop. 327. Got the appliance Build-A-Basket style wheels. Build-A-Basket might have been somebody else's trade name, but that's the style anyway. Factory air 4-barrel.
Got a 4-barrel.
Yep. Of course, none of the doors work.
Pretty clean, really. The body and everything.
Standard column, no tilt. Four-door hardtops are getting to be desirable body style now, but if it was a 67, this would be like $6,000-$7,000 car. $65, guess you'd be lucky to get what you could for it. Bronco 2's kind of cool. These are going to have some collector value come on. Long Plymouth Voyager with boards and bug guard. All the period gear. Guy loved his Chevy trucks. That old 70s truck would look good on a movie set somewhere. When I was in college at McPherson, my summer internship, my sophomore year, 2006, I went to Los Angeles and worked on movie cars. And that's always kind of lit the bug for me. Something supermarket box, kind of cool. That was a whole shed that basically fell in. 47 to 53 Chevy 5-window. Got the big truck fenders and clip. Flathead motors. Some old parts, banjo steering wheel. There's a replacement quarter for the Lincoln. Kind of past that point now for repairing it. '81 to '87 bonus cab. Old camper. That one's got neat enough styling to it. Might have a little collector appeal. Frames, rear ends, banjos. It's all out here. Ford tractor with the backhoe. You guys look on Crazy D Equipment for more information about these. He walks around and shows each of them. Forklift would be handy if it was working, but headache if it's not. Ford Econoline, Plymouth Voyager, Chevy Corsica. Chevy Corsica is the car I drove out to Los Angeles. People thought I was crazy driving an old beater clunker like that, but that's just who I am. It made it there, made it back. The old Trans Am is cool. I've never really personally been into these cars, but I think that's just because I didn't grow up during that time. If I had grown up during that time, and I actually could have experienced them. It's okay. Now a guy can experience them 40 years later as a collector car. The little Honda Civic. This two-wheel Blazer. Guys are kind of into them, lower them, and everything else. Not me. I like my stuff all stock down to the hubcaps. All these vehicles, man, they're like locked up and no keys, which is a bit of a problem. Can't get in the tailgate. I guess, gosh, a guy could break a window. It's a square body window glass. Got the 3rd gen Camaro with the T-tops. I'll always like that factory rim that they had on them. Pretty basic car, automatic. Some more old vehicles. Old Honda Accord. This old Nissan, I had one of these at one time. Mine was the hatchback version. It ran and drove. These have got some coming collector value. I don't know, man, as torn up as this one is, being out here, it'd probably be hard to do a lot for it other than just a parts car. Old, I believe this is a 58 Ford parts truck. And then a 61 or 2 long bed F100 unit body truck. That's a cool old truck. Good colors. Hasn't been super torn up sitting out here. Old Chevy square body. Made a ton of them and there's still a ton left, so a guy can be choosy on them. Old Ford. There's another beat up Ford truck cab. This is kind of like the Swamp Rat Ford pickup guy worked on down in Florida there. Still snowing. Guy took his aircraft earnings and build another shed, fill it up. '26, '27 Model T body. That thing is just nice and crunchy. That's a good old piece of yard art right there. You think this is buildable for you? No. I see yard art.
It could be buildable, but there's enough of them out there still.
Yeah.
But eventually,
That's a $500 body if it's complete, and about a $30 body if it looks like that.
you gotta buy this place, Tim.
I do not need more property and acquisitions. This is probably the shed that the little Mazda pickups were in. This one wasn't built too awful long ago. Here's a kind of a neat little telephone utility body. May 28 of 58. Pretty good shape for 63 years old. I mean, it's like just buy more and stack it in, but what's really the plan? Where was the pride of ownership? Mother Nature's turned those into white walls temporarily. Another abandoned building, packed full of stuff left to rot. Gaucho pinball machine. Time Zone pinball machine, just purely destroyed by neglect. And this is a cool piece. Little Yamaha motorcycle mud flap. I could just take pictures here and put them up, and you could just look at a picture for 5 minutes and still keep seeing new interesting items. Kmart oil filter. When was the last time you went to Kmart and bought an oil filter? The earth was a place of decay. Just makes you think of all kinds of ideas, man, like haunted house or post-apocalyptic real life paintball experience. You can tell which generation I'm from. Paintball was the thing the kids all did before they did airsoft. Wouldn't this make a cool paintball place? Like Halloween paintball experience. Man, it'd be awesome. Grab your tactical gear and
It's just
Breathe
so much
deep.
stuff
This
to
is the
look
cure
at.
for the corona.
If you could, yeah, the cure for the corona is this.
Digging through all this, yes,
Yeah.
very much so.
You know, I grew up in it. We never had farm animals, but I grew up in it. And I'll buy a car and shovel out a nested rat
Not even bother you.
nest,
It
and
don't
they're
bother me
like,
a bit.
that didn't kill you? No.
No, that's why we're immune to half the crap now.
All of this stuff. There was a story. You have the cavemen's petroglyphs. You have the hieroglyphics of the Egyptians. And that little piece of drywall there is every bit the history that a recognized historical site is. Every bit of the history. Just a later time period. Money can't buy happiness, but it can buy me a boat.
Yeah, pretty much.
Good little wall hanger. Incredible decay. It started snowing more now. I think that band's kind of dropped south. 62 SS hubcap. Little international blade there. If you're storing one of those, be a great accessory. I don't know how there's not like caution signs and we accept no liability signs just plastered everywhere. Kind of a vintage pickup box. Put your old fenders on there, correct to the truck, and that'd be a good piece. Paddle boat. Another abandoned, decayed building. This is such a fascinating study in sociology and human psychology and archaeology and a little bit of mechanics. Like what was the plan? What was the plan? Here we go. I might have swung in one of these as a kid. Little baby swing, you'd wind that up and back and forth you'd go. And then you grow up and then life becomes a lot more complicated and a lot less happy. Now this is a cool little piece here. This is a wind-up mechanical forklift. Man, that's cool. I'm gonna try and talk Talk Stutzman into buying that. It's an old Chevy van bumper I kind of could use. 71 to 3 Mustang grill. I mean, stuff's scattered and sprinkled in here. Those old trailer hitches. 61 Chevrolet. Give away my secret, but you can buy one of those for $5 at an auction and put it on eBay for $150. I've sold a lot of them. Clairol hair care shelf. I mean, just everything imaginable. These are kind of neat, the old hand carts from the railroad depots. Different part of the societal fabric, those old railroad depots. They'd ship stuff in crates on trains before we had UPS and FedEx. Just really kind of neat to walk around one of these places and see a bit of the personality, I guess if you'd call it, of the person that owned it, and see a little bit of the history that this stuff puts.
Like a Branch Davidian compound or something.
Yeah. There's the Big Joe forklift. Tractor Dave's video, he has some facts about that. You know what? What was the plan?
They get sidetracked.
74 Oldsmobile bumpers. That rear one's in good shape. 65, 66 front clips. Kind of a cool piece of styrofoam. That's neat. Styrofoam boat. I've never been much of an outdoorsman, but today I may have to. I wonder if you could put a outboard motor on that, like a little electric trolling motor. Water wagon. Yeah, man. I like it. This shed, I'm sure, was probably full of vehicles. Cool old mobile can there. If it's got any bottom left in it, maybe. Stuff's all been cleaned out and moved out. '64 Impala. Yep. 70. 1 or 2 Chevelle probably. Cool old Art Deco floor jack. Exam table. They said this guy worked at one of the aircraft places, and I'm sure anything he thought was handy or thought he might use, he accumulated. Some of this stuff he just wonder what the plan was. Cool old hardware store display for yard tools. Snow stopped and the sun's out. I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. This one was a little long. Appreciate everybody sticking around. Next video will show what we picked up at the auction and the loading.